Welcome back to the next playthrough series. This time we're continuing on with Night of the Living Dead. We're doing Scene 2. And if you haven't watched Scene 1, I did that a couple of months ago, back in December. And I'll put a link to that in the description of the video if you want to go and watch that one first. Because the game is basically set up into 10 scenes. We've done the first one, which was the introductory scene. This is now the beginning of Scene 2. So if you want to go watch that one ahead of this one, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, let's continue on. We are doing Night of the Living Dead, a zombicide game. So we're gonna do it. And this one's called Is There a Key? So basically, the gist of this scenario is we have 3 spawn points. You can't see one at the top, one here by the door. On the other side of the board, we have to search the entire house and find a key to the gas pump. That's what we're trying to do. And the way we win the scenario is we have to get through the entire search deck. And once we get through the entire search deck of 24 cards, then we will have found the key, which means we have completely scoured the house for that. All right, the special rules are similar to the first playthrough. This area here, you can search for ranged weapons in the little stairway area. I guess it goes upstairs. But you have to be in zombicide mode to do that. Everyone starts, of course, in Romero mode. We know that from the first playthrough. And this room right here, once again, is the melee weapons search room. And again, you have to be in zombicide mode to search in that room and find something. So these are the ranged weapons, the green cards. I like how they've done this in this particular version of the zombicide game. And we have the melee weapons as red cards. And I had just showed you the other generic search cards for the house are brown. And we're going to have to go through the entire deck. All right, we're going to take a quick look at our characters. I've randomized the items they get, and you'll take a look at that. So we're going to take a look at Tom, Judy, Helen. Tom is basically the purple character here, and Judy is in blue, dark blue, and Helen is in red. I haven't changed the colors from the first playthrough either. They're all the same. And then over the other side we have Ben, Harry, and Barbara. Ben is green player, Harry is the orange, and Barbara is the bright yellow. All right, let's take a quick look at them and the weapons and items they have to start with. And then from there, we'll get into playing a round. So basically a round is players go, and then the zombies go. And not zombies, the ghouls go. And yes, why are they called ghouls? Because in the very first Night of the Living Dead movie, they were called cannibalistic ghouls. There was never a mention of the word zombie, so that's why. So this should be ghoul-acide instead of zombicide. Anyway, so let's take a look at our characters. Alright, this is a bit of a 50,000 feet view of 3 of them. So Tom's got the Winchester 94. It's a range 1 to 3, so you can't shoot it in the same space you're in with a ghoul. Doing 1 damage, hitting on a 3+. And there you go. And he's got a table leg, which also comes along with the Winchester. And the table leg is just basically rolling a die, hitting on a 4+, and doing 1 damage. These both do 1 damage. Then Judy here's got a table leg, same thing we just went over. And Helen's got the claw hammer, doing rolling a die, 4+, 1 damage. And it can break barricades if you want to. Why would we want to? I don't know. And then these are their zombicide orange characters. If they flip to the zombicide side, of course, each character has the Romero side, which is black and white. The other side's got the zombicide side. All right, let's take a look at Ben, Harry, and Barbara. And another 50,000 foot view. So here we have Ben. Ben's got the tire iron. It's on rolls 1 die, hits on a 4+, does 1 damage. And Harry now has got the crowbar. The crowbar hits on a 4+, does 2 damage. And why do we need 2 damage at one time? Because we do have fatties in the game that take 2 damage to take out. And damage is not cumulative in this game. You have to do it all at once. So if you have a weapon that only does 1 damage, you cannot take down a fatty. And we have the table leg for Barbara, which we've seen. And we can light the table legs up into torches, which are way better weapons. Probably going to do that as soon as possible. All right, we're going to go back now to the main board. We're going to read the introduction to this scene, and then I guess we're going to get into some gameplay and see where we are. All right, so here we are on the main board, and it says, "Is there a key?" This is Scene 2. It's bad news everywhere. Ghouls have spread throughout the region, murdering and eating their victims. The ghoul army from Beekman's Diner shows up and surrounds the house. Despite their differences, the survivors look for the pump's keys while holding back the ghouls. The car outside may be the only way out of this nightmare. Alright, so we've set everything up the way it's supposed to be. And it says, objectives, looking for the pump's keys. The game is won. As soon as the house equipment deck is exhausted, the survivors have found the pump's keys at last. The game is lost whenever there is at least one ghoul in the house at the end of the player's phase. So it means we have to keep the house clear of ghouls at the end of all players' turn, or you lose the game. Special rules. The setup starts. Survivors start in Romero mode with the Romero ID face up. We've already mentioned that. And trusting each other, which is one sort of odd thing, but anyway, it is what it is. It says trusting each other. Any survivor giving the Winchester 94 starting equipment to another survivor with a reorganized trade action may switch to Zombicide mode. Of course, you would want to because you have better abilities on your Zombicide mode. And equipment stashes. The melee and ranged equipment decks can only be searched by the designated zones, only while in Zombicide mode. And so if you look in the rulebook itself, we have set everything up according to those particular rules. So there you go. That's it. So here we are. All right. We're going to begin, and because I'm playing solo, which means I'm controlling all 6 characters at the same time, we get to have them go in any order they please. And so I guess it doesn't really make too much difference. We'll go ahead and have Tom go first. He is sitting here with, in the purple. Of course, everyone starts in the main room here, main living room with the fireplace and the couch and the big dining table, whatever. So, all right, let's have Tom go first. He's got a table leg, and he's got the Winchester. And first thing he's going to do, of course, and we have 3 actions on our turn. First action, searching. Oh, and in this one, when you discard a board item, you get 3 XP. So we might be jumping up into the yellow, orange, and possibly red zones during this playthrough, which can get pretty dangerous. He's already found flammable fluid. Oh my God, this is so good. This is actually a super way to start this off. So you can discard this along with a mason jar. The survivor receives a Molotov and may be used in the backpack. So Tom has found flammable fluid. And you can only do 1 search on your turn, that's it. What does he want to do? I think we're going to have him move. Well, we're going to have him give the Winchester. We're just going to pop everyone into Zombicide mode. And I think you can give this away multiple times. I don't see anything in the rules that says you can't just keep handing this weapon off. So Tom's going to be nice, and he's going to give Judy the Winchester 94. And by doing that for his second action, which is a trade action, he can then flip himself over to the Zombicide side of his player board. So currently, everyone in Romero mode has no actual special abilities on the beginning of their card, but because he's just given away the Winchester 94, boom, he goes to the Zombicide side, and that is the shove ability. The shove ability means he can take every single ghoul in a space and shove it to an open other space, costing no actions on his turn. So he's going to be pretty key, I think. We got to keep him in Zombicide mode, of course. For him to do that, kind of want him around a spawn point somewhere so that when ghouls start coming into the house, he can shove them out on his turn. Because, again, we lose the scenario if we have any ghouls at all inside the house after all the players have taken their turn. And we don't want that. Tom has 1 more action remaining, and I'm going to have him move into this hallway section here because I want him to go upstairs and start looking for ranged weapons. He's in Zombicide mode. He will be able to do that. Alright, that is Tom going. I guess we might as well just go down the food chain, and we'll go right on next to Judy. And we'll zoom in a little bit here, why not? So Judy's the dark blue. She just now is taking a look at the nice Winchester 94 that Tom so graciously handed to her. And, of course, the first thing she's going to do, she's going to say, you know, I'm not a fan of the Winchester 94. I'm going to go ahead and give that to Helen. I know, kind of a very silly thing to make you go to the Zombicide mode. So for her first action, she's doing a trade with Helen, which means she gets to flip to her Zombicide side. So let's take a look at that. We might as well do this first and then search after. So, boom, she has Sniper, which means I believe she can shoot. She can. She's not going to miss and hit another survivor in another location. So if she's shooting from one space to another, and there happens to be another survivor with a ghoul, and she misses the ghoul, she doesn't actually hit the survivor, which is what would happen normally. So she's got the sniper ability, so maybe she shouldn't have given the Winchester 94 away, but she did, because she's a nice person. She might end up with it again. She might also end up with some cool other ranged weapon. You never know. So she's got 2 actions remaining. Of course she's going to do a search. We have to get through the search deck. That is the entire key to the whole thing. So she's going to do a search, and she finds mason jars. So we can already make a Molotov if we want. She's going to put that in her backpack. And then, let's see what else. She could probably, if you have flammable fluid, you may discard this to get a, okay, so if you have flammable fluid, you may discard this to get a torch. So she gave away her gun to Helen for first action. Second action, she did a search. Her third action, she's going to go ahead and do an exchange change with Tom, and she's going to take the flammable fluid, which doesn't disappear. So she's going to take that, and she's going to end up turning her table leg into a flaming table leg by dousing it with the kerosene and lighting it up, which is a much better. So now she has a flaming table leg torch, which is rolls 2 dice, hits on a 3+. 3+ does 2 damage a hit. Probably should have done that for Tom as well, but we didn't. But anyway, we can do it for him later. So she's got a flaming torch. That's the end of Judy's turn. Up next, let's have Helen go. Alright, we're going to have Helen go next. She's going to do basically the same thing. She's going to take the Winchester 94 and she's going to hand it off to Tom, or to Ben, which means she can flip to her zombie side. Alright, Helen, and I'm going to replace the miniatures as well. You should have the orange ones out here. So she gets +1 free search action now. So why doesn't she just go ahead and do that? That'll give her 2 more actions after. So her free search action, let's hope we don't find the relative. We find some boards. All right, discard to gain 3 XP. It may be used in the backpack. And I don't also believe you can make barricades out of that. So that was her free search action. Because she's in zombicide mode now, she gets 2 more actions. So she's going to go over here to the melee room and open the door. I'm just going to readjust the camera a little bit and have her do that. Alright, so Helen says, you know, I think there's a little shop off the side of the house here. Let's go and check it out, because they knew from last time. Alright, Helen's in the red. She's going to go 1. She's got 1 more action left. And for her second and final action, last action of her turn, she's going to open the door to this lovely little stash room that's got all those really cool melee weapons. She's in zombicide mode. She'll be able to search in there. Well, that's really cool. Alright, up next, oh, and I'm just going to quickly swap out their miniatures for the zombicide versions, because they are in zombicide mode at the moment. Alright, I've swapped out their miniatures for the orange version, zombicide versions, and of course, Tom is up there as well in zombicide mode. Alright, up next, guess we're going to have Ben go. We might as well keep going. Of course, Ben has the Winchester 94. He could just go ahead and keep it, but yeah, why would we not go ahead and ramp everyone up to zombicide mode if we can? So we're going to give that. He's going to say, hey, Harry, take a look at this nice weapon we got here. And he's going to flip to his zombicide side. And I don't know why you can't do that. I'm pretty sure you can. There's nothing that I could see in the rule book that says you can't just keep handing the Winchester off every single turn. I don't know why you couldn't. So he's going to his zombie side. He's got Hawkeye, which means he can shoot through barricades. And I think he can never ever hit another survivor. I think the sniper and Hawkeye are kind of a similar thing. It lets him shoot through barricades though, which is cool because you can't do that normally. It blocks line of sight. But with Hawkeye, he's able to not have to worry about that. Alright, he is also now flipped into his zombie side. So boom, there he is. And again, we have to get through the search deck. So let's go ahead and have him do a search for his second action. And he finds some more boards. Alright, so we can start pumping up barricades if we need to. He's got 1 more action. He might as well head up with Tom and check out the upstairs where the ranged weapons are. Of course, that'll be in the next episode. Won't be here. Alright, that's basically Ben taking his turn. Up next is Harry. So, might readjust the camera a little bit again and we'll have Harry take a turn. I know, it's all just very opening scenario. Harry's like, you know what, I like my tire iron. I don't really like the Winchester. So I'm going to give this to Barbara. They're coming for you, Barbara. So here's a Winchester for you. And guess what? Yes, that puts Harry into zombicide mode for his first action. If I can get his card out of his tray here. Alright, so, of course, no special ability. And now we have Taunt. he can actually taunt ghouls towards him. I think they move a space towards him. It doesn't matter if they're with other players or not, they just come for him because he's really annoying. So he's able to annoy ghouls enough that they will come for him and leave the other players alone. Well, that's pretty cool. And I think it has to have be line of sight as well, and one space away. All right, that's one action for Harry. His second action, of course, we can swap out his miniature. The swapping of miniatures is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. It's fine. All right, because as soon as we find a relative, we have to swap them all back. So he's going to do a search. This gets slightly dangerous, because if we find a relative and we cannot kill the relative, then we immediately lose the game. That would be this would be the shortest playthrough ever, but we'll see. So he's going to do a search. We've got to get through the deck. God darn it, we do find a relative. Karen, poor baby. All right. So they all flip back to the zombie side, or the Romero side. I'm not going to do that. The reason I'm not going to do it is because we're going to immediately lose the game if we don't get rid of the relative. So it basically swaps everyone back. I'm not going to do it, like I said. Harry's got one action remaining. We're going to get out the dice tray. He's going to brain this this relative with his crowbar, rolling one die, hitting on a 4+. Come on, Harry! And he gets a 5. Bang! He crushes. He's good with the crowbar. He likes it. He's like, I'm not taking any guff from these silly ghouls this time around. So that was his third and final action. That's going to give him an experience. So he's the first. He gets the first kill, not surprisingly. And up last is going to be Barbara. And let's see what Barbara's going to do. All right, it's Barbara's turn, and we're not going to live as dangerous anymore. We're going to just chill here a little bit. Barbara is not going to do any searching, so that's fine. But Barbara is going to take the Winchester, and she's in here with Judy, and she's in here with Harry. She's going to give the Winchester back to Judy, because Judy's got sniper. She's like, hey, you're probably the best one for the rifle. You go ahead and have it. I've got my nice table leg, which I think I'm going to use to start it on fire here in a second. So she's going to flip over to her zombie side, and she has Slippery. She can move out of a space with ghouls without paying any extra movement costs, but she has to stop her movement if she moves into a space with ghouls, so she can't just go right through them. It'll end her action if you follow the rule there. So everybody's in zombie side mode, which is, I guess, excellent. Excuse me while I clear my throat. She is also in the same space with Judy, so she's going to do an exchange action with Judy. She's going to take the flammable fluid for herself, and she's going to light up her table leg, of course, and turn it into a torch, because the torch is just way better than the straight-up table leg, and you don't have to discard the flammable fluid, which is so cool. So there we go. Barbara now has a torch. She's got one action remaining, and I think she is going to... Oh boy, where is she going to go? Let me zoom out the camera and we'll think about it. Okay, I think she is going to take her action. Oh, and yes, we have to swap her out for her zombie side character. She's going to move up for her final action. She's going to go join Tom and Ben up here in this area because she wants to get Tom's table leg into a flaming torch next episode, where she gets to go again. All right, it's the end of the players' turns, and guess what? We don't have any ghouls living inside the house, or living undead inside the house, so that's good. It means we can continue playing, but it is now spawn time, and we're going to start spawning right here as our first spawn point. So it's going to be 1, 2, and 3, and we'll keep doing that every episode. All right, first spawn point. What do we have? We have a breaker. Okay, great. So the breaker's already showing up. They smash down barricades, blast open doors. They're really pretty annoying. So here we have the breaker, and he's going to show up right here. And boy, he's going to be smashing open the window and cracking open the door pretty soon. All right, let's zoom up to the other spawn point and see what we get up there. All right, so way up in the corner of the board, we have another spawn point. And what do we get there? Do we get anything exciting? We get... What? Holy, oh wow, we get three fatties show up. Holy jeez. Oh man. Oh, that is just brutal. That is absolutely brutal. Now, they cannot smash barricades down, but still, they take 2 to hit. I'm so glad we got some flaming torches going on here. Holy moly, that is absolutely awful. All right, we have 1 spawn point left. Let's get to it. And the final spawn point, of course, is right here. And let's see. I mean, we got to catch a break, don't we? We have nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, good. All right, we're going to zoom out. We're going to wrap up our opening episode for today. And we'll be back tomorrow for some more Night of the Living Dead. All right, well, we're ending it off here for today. We have everyone in Zombicide mode, which is great. We have Judy's got a flaming torch, and she has the Winchester. We have Tom with just a table leg. We're going to have him having a flaming table leg soon. We got 3 fatties showing up at that point. Not good. We have a breaker sitting right outside the door. Also, not fantastic. And we have Helen, who has opened the door to the melee room. She's probably going to be getting in there very soon. And we got Barbara up here with a torch with the kerosene can. All right, that's going to be it for today. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, likes. Really helps out my channel. Really appreciate it. We're back to Night of the Living Dead. This is scene 2. We're looking for keys. We have to get through this entire deck of search cards to do it. And we can't have any ghouls inside the house at the end of all the players' turns. Because if we do, we lose the game. So thanks so much, and we'll see you tomorrow for the continuation of Night of the Living Dead, Scene 2.